Hi and welcome to another Wednesday on Wavelength with me, Waveney. It's a pleasure having you viewing, and I really hope, I first want to say I really hope that you enjoyed the series that I've done on promotions and getting promoted and what do you do when you don't get promoted. I really hope that the tips and the tools that I mentioned helps to support you. As always, I am just a message or an email away. So I just really want to jump into today's topic, and today's topic we're going to speak about how do you manage your relationships as a leader. And when I use the term leader, I mean if you are a supervisor, if you are a manager, if you are a business owner, if you're managing people, if you're the person that the manager puts in charge, then you are a leader. And so lots of people get thrust into these positions. Lots of people don't have support. And so I, your HR guru, at the People's Brand, we're here to support you. So it's really important that you manage your relationships as a leader. It's really important that you do that, because you cannot act the same way. You cannot have those same behaviors with more responsibilities. And so, for example, you have persons that they're peers one day and they do things together, and things that management probably won't approve of. For example, they may always be coming back from lunch late. They may always be on social media, some type of behavior. But when you have more responsibility, to whom much is given, much is expected. And so it's important that you set some boundaries, and that is actually the first tip. And even if you were peers one day and now you are a supervisor, and you haven't had bad behaviors, you still need to set boundaries, because you are going to probably come across things that you have to do in your role as a leader, and people may be like, well, they used to do this, or you know us, they used to do that, or how come you're acting differently? And so number one is set boundaries. You need to be able to explain your new role and its expectations, your responsibilities and expectations. And this is more from a standpoint of you're telling your friends, listen, I got promoted. I told you I was applying for this promotion. Hopefully you did. This is my responsibility. I won't be able to do X, Y, and Z with you at work, and I'm really hoping for your support. Something like that. Either which way, you really need to set the expectation with them. You really need to explain that. Right? You really also need to explain that it is not personal, it is business. It is business, it is the nature of business. I mean, we are human beings and we are very emotional creatures, and we bring that into the workplace, and a lot of the times we really do need to take a step back and recognize that this is the nature of business. The person is not harming, it's not the person, it's the decision, and it's what they have to do. Anyway, the second point I'd like to make is the persons who are genuinely and truly your friends will support you. They will support you. And your friends will not make you look bad. And I say this to people all the time. If they're your friend is not going to make you look bad, right? They want the best for you. They want to see you succeed in this new role. They want that. And if it comes to a point where you do have to reprimand them, or you have to speak to them, there's a negative interaction or whatever, then they will understand. They will know that they've slipped up, and they will understand, right? In my role as an HR professional, I've had to terminate people that I get along well with. Um, I have had to document or sit in on documentations on people that I get along well with. And I can tell you from experience that then everybody knows where I stand. I'm a very personable person, but they know when it comes to work, I do not play. I do not play. And you have to communicate that to people. And so over the years, what I've found, I can tell you, it's only a handful. It's only a handful of persons that have me as public enemy number one. But the other persons, they understand where I'm coming from. And even those persons that I've had to terminate, they've circled back and said, listen, I know I disappointed you, and I'm so sorry. And here it is, I am feeling bad because it's never nice to put somebody out of a job, or I shouldn't say put out of a job, but have to deliver that news, right? And so it really feels good when people circle back, because we're humans, right? And we want to be liked. And it really feels good when people circles back and lets me know that, hey, I understand you did what you had to do. And so that is why setting those boundaries are important. You'd be amazed. You'd be totally amazed. And so I really wanted to share this with you. The third tip that I have is that you will lose some friends. There will be people that don't support you. There will be people who will be pissed off. They think that you're friends, and because you're friends, that they should get a free pass. And I am telling you that you need to woman up or man up and get some courage, and don't buy into that, because you need to be aware of the type of person you want to be seen as, the type of leader you want to be seen as, and you cannot be in a workplace playing favorites. It's not a great thing. You don't want to have that reputation. You don't want to have the reputation like, oh, because they're her friends. You want to be seen as fair, right? And that happens over time. You will probably be accused of playing favorites, but over time people will see that you are being fair, that even though this person is your friend, that they are, reprimanded. And like I said, your friend's not going to deliberately put you in those positions. So you will lose people. You will lose some people, and those persons were never meant to be. And that's what I believe. You can debate this. If you have a friend that is being promoted or has been promoted, and you don't want to support that person, and you don't understand that they have a greater responsibility, then you're not a good friend and you're not a good person. You are selfish, and you need to change that. So for those of you, you will lose some friends, but you will gain the respect of so many other persons. You will gain that respect, and you want to be respected, right? You want to be respected. We do want to be liked, and that's okay, but we want respect even more. It is crucial, right? And the thing that will happen as well is that your tribe will support you. I have had stories where persons have been speaking ill of me, and I have had this, people sit and they listen and then they defend. And you'll have that tribe. You'll have your tribe, because if people try to, say things, your track record will speak for itself, and your tribe will defend you. And so those three things I wanted to share with you, that you need to set boundaries. Your true friends will support you. People will not put you in an awkward role, your true friends. You will lose some people along the way, and that's okay. they were never meant to be. The other thing I want to mention too is that we may say that we don't need friends. We may say that we don't need people. That's not true. And I'm not going to jump on here and tell you you shouldn't be friends with people. We are built for a sense of community. We are built that way. We are humans. We are built that way. And so don't fool yourself. Don't let anybody fool you. We do need those social relationships, and relationships are important. They're so important that there is a company. It's a Gallup. Some of you may have heard of it. You can Google it, but it's a management company, consultant company out of the US, and they're known for doing their polls and public surveys and stuff like that. One of the areas they've tapped into is employee engagement, and they created a survey called the Q12, which really is 12 questions. And they feel like these 12 questions will gauge your engagement in the workplace. One of the questions is, do you have a best friend at work? And companies that have high scores, that the employees score high on this, they realize that they are companies that are more engaged. Obviously, there are other elements and there are other questions, but that is one of the questions. Do you have a best friend at work? And so I am an advocate for friendships, but I am also a bigger advocate of managing those friendships. And I will say to you as well, sometimes in your role, like for me in human resources, you didn't need somebody to vent to. That I wouldn't recommend that to be anybody that work in your organization so much. Because of the nature of human resources and the confidentiality, you do need somebody to go to, and you may find yourself in roles that the higher up you go, you may have access to personal information. And I'm not just talking, not so much personal information. You will have access to that, but you will have access to confidential matters. There will be certain decisions that you will be privy to, and you will need an outlet. And that's okay. I just want to put a caveat in there. I'm not saying to go out and broadcast people's personal information. I'm just saying that, you may need someone to vent to with certain bits of information, and your friends at your job are not those people. Okay? So I just wanted to put that plug. But I can be reached for any questions, any comments. Well, you can comment below, or if you are shy or want to engage one-on-one, you can email me. My email address is below, hellowaveney@thepeoplesbrand.com, or send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and just let me know. And as usual, share. If you have someone, or tag someone that is a leader, or if you're new in your role, hopefully this helps. And thank you, and I'll see you next week.